This is the case of Eve Stratford. She was born in Dortmund in West Germany on the 28th of December 1953. Her mother was German and met her father, an English medic in the Royal Army Medical Corps in the 1940s. And as a youth, Eve won a load of beauty contests in Germany. The family moved around a lot during her childhood and especially as she was growing up, and eventually settled in Aldershot, Hampshire. In 1972, she moved in with her boyfriend, Tony Priest, the lead singer of Onyx, to Leighton, East London. Two other members of the band also lived there, and at the time of her death, she was actually a Playboy club bunny in Park Lane. She started working at the club in 1973, where she was recommended by a friend. She lived a glamorous lifestyle. She met with a lot of higher individuals, and she was known as Bunny Ava. In March 1975, only a few days before she was killed, Eve appeared on the front cover of Mayfair magazine, an adult magazine made for men, as Girl of the Month, and she was actually suspended from Playboy in breach of contract by her clubs that she had posted for a rival publication. The magazine was said to be on the top shelf of every single news agent in March that year. Police would later conclude that the magazine cover had likely enticed her killer. On Tuesday, the 18th of March 1975, Eve was found dead by her partner at their flat at Lyndhurst Drive, Leighton. Her throat had been cut between 8 and 12 times from ear to ear, while her neck and face were extensively mutilated, with detectives stating it was one of the most horrific crime murder scenes they had seen. Police were convinced at this point that the magazine piece that Eve had appeared in the same month she died had lured this motive to her, and they believed that the killer had traced her address and then attacked her. And the fact that there was no defence wounds and that no one heard any screams or shouts suggested Eve has known her killer. It was also considered that she might have just terrified to comply with everything that person demanded. And police actually found out on the day of her death, Eve had visited Camden to see her agent and then went to a promotions consultancy in Bayswater. And as far as detectives could tell, she made the journey home on her own and was not seen with anybody else. She began to travel home at 3:30 p.m. and walked from Leytonstone Tube Station to her flat, last being seen by a neighbour walking towards her residence while wearing a floppy hat and holding some dried flowers. At 4:30, the woman living below her flat had a male and female conversation, apparently calmly. Nice, normal conversation, nothing high-pitched or screaming. And all of a sudden, there was a thud and then the sound of footsteps. It was 5:20 p.m. when her boyfriend returned to find her dead. And the murder was featured prominently in the press, and she was actually accused of she had it coming because of the role and job that she had done. Other people at the club were interviewed, and it emerged that some had received obscene phone calls in the lead up to this murder. And one girl, Marilyn Looms, had received death threats following her own centerfold in Mayfair. And detectives found out that Eve had actually received a number of intrusive phone calls in the days leading up to her death, in which the caller had either hung up or whispered obscenities over the line. And it was also discovered that she had received 3 mysterious phone calls on the very day she died. Each time she had answered, the caller simply just hung up and cut the line. Searches of nearby gardens, dustbins and drains following her murder failed to find the murder weapon, but did uncover a badly torn copy of the magazine that she had featured in. 2 photo fit pictures were released by detectives of 2 men seen in the vicinity of the murder site that day, which officers wished to speak to. It was either the late 30s or early 40-year-olds, medium height, the peculiar limping gait and ruddy complexion. The other was about the same age but taller and with thick black wavy hair, but nothing came of it. Such a weird case. And actually there was another case that had happened shortly after, and apparently that DNA also matched the other person's DNA, but fortunately this is a cold case and it is unsolved still to this day.